Let's take a look at this problem. We want to solve this system of equations. We got negative 8x. So I'm going to give a pen to work. There it goes. Negative 8x plus 2y equals negative 8. And 6x plus y equals negative 14. First method I'm going to show is the addition method, elimination method. Now, addition method works out well if you already have both of your variable terms on the left side. So you have 8x, negative 8x here and 2y here, and then 6x and y here, and then numbers on the other side. Now what we want to do is we want to add these together, but we want one of the variables to be eliminated. Some books call this the elimination method. Now here's a positive 2y. If this was a negative 2y, then we'd be able to eliminate the y's. So I want to multiply the second equation by negative 2. So I got negative 8x plus 2y is equal to negative 8. Negative 2 times 6x gives us negative 12x. Negative 2 times y is negative 2y. And negative 2 times negative 14 gives us a positive 28. Well, now we want to add together the like terms. Negative 8x, negative 12x is negative 20x. 2y minus 2y drops away. Negative 8 plus 28 is 20. The goal is to eliminate one of your variables, which we just did. So now we got negative 20x equals 20, and we're going to divide both sides by negative 20 to get the x by itself. And we get x is equal to negative 1. We now want to plug this back into one of our equations. It doesn't matter which one, whichever one looks simpler to you. The second one looks a little bit simpler. So I'm going to plug that into 6x plus y equals negative 14. We just said that x is negative 1, so I got 6 times negative 1 plus y is equal to negative 14. 6 times negative 1 is negative 6, plus y is equal to negative 14. Take negative 6 to the right side, we got negative 14 plus 6. Or we got y is equal to negative 8, assuming no math errors on my part. So our answer is negative 1, negative 8. Now that's the addition method. We'll also look at the substitution method. Assuming I'm spelling that right, but I suppose if I write sloppy enough you can't really see. Now let's review our steps for the substitution method. Solving a linear system of equations using substitution. Step 1. Solve one of the equations for one of the variables. Doesn't matter which equation, doesn't matter which variable, whichever one's easier. Step 2. Plug this into the other equation and solve. And step 3. Plug the value from step 2 into the equation from step 1 and solve. Okay, so let's see how that works with this problem. Step 1. Solve one of the equations for one of the variables. I'm going to pick the second equation. The reason why is because there's no number in front of the y. So that's going to be real easy to solve for y. Solving for y, I'm going to take the 6x and move it over. And we get y is equal to negative 6x minus 14. Step 2. Plug this into the other equation and solve. Very important you plug it into another equation. If you plug it into the equation you just worked with, then you're going to get a bizarre answer every time. So we're going to plug it in negative 8x plus 2y is equal to negative 8. And we just said that y is equal to negative 6x minus 14. So we're going to replace the y here with negative 6x minus 14. So we've got negative 8x plus 2 times negative 6x minus 14 equals negative 8. And notice that I say and solve. Well, this is a linear equation. So get rid of parentheses, distributive property. 2 times negative 6 gives us negative 12x. 2 times negative 14 is negative 28. Combine like terms. Negative 8x, negative 12x is negative 20x. Second step, get rid of fractions. Don't have any. Step 3, get everything with an x on one side, numbers on the other side. So I'm going to take that negative 28 over. When you take anything across or equals, your sign changes. So it goes from negative 28 to a positive 28. Combine numbers in a step. Negative 8 plus 28 is 20. And our last step is to divide both sides by the number in front of your x. So the number in front of our x is a negative 20. So I divide both sides by negative 20. And we get x is equal to negative 1. Now step 3. Pretty specific about this. I say plug the value from step 2 into the equation from step 1 and solve. When I say the equation from step 1, I'm talking about the last step of step 1. This will always be solved for the other variables. So this is going to always be the easiest one to plug it into. So we've got y is equal to negative 6x minus 14. We just said x is negative 1, so we're going to have negative 6 times negative 1 minus 14. Negative 6 times negative 1 is a positive 6 minus 14, which gives us negative 8. So our answer will be negative 1, negative 8. Now I'm showing you different methods here. You obviously do not need to use every method on a problem. Since it does not specify, you can use whatever method you want. Now I'm going to show the calculator if you saw that. Now if you've never seen the calculator before, for the TA3, TA4, I should be specific. Don't try to learn it now. But this will refresh your memory if you've seen it. Now we want to write down the matrix goes along with it. And our first step for solving it with matrices is to make sure all of your variable terms are on one side, your numbers are on the right side. Okay, so we got everything with an x here, y here, numbers over here. And specifically, the columns are lined up. The x's are lined up, the y's are lined up, and the numbers are lined up. We write down the matrix goes along with that. We got negative 8, 2, negative 8, 6, 1, and negative 14. So let's go ahead and put that into our calculator. Now to go in our matrix menu, we'll do second, x and negative 1. If you got a T83, you should have a button that says matrix. We're going to right arrow twice over to edit, or left arrow once. And then we'll do enter on A. Now it's asking us for the size, and it's rows by columns. This is 2 rows by 3 columns. So do 2 enter, 3 enter. And then I'll type in each number, pressing enter after each one. So I got negative 8, 2, negative 8, 6, 1, negative 14. And then I'll do a second mode to exit out. Okay, now we're going to do second, x and negative 1. That's actually your inverse button, but students click better, or it clicks better with students if I say x and negative 1. Right arrow to math, and we're going to up arrow to RREF. It stands for reduced row echelon form, if you're curious. Oops. Once you get up there, make sure you choose one with 2 R's. You press enter on it. And then we'll go back in the matrix menu, second, x and negative 1, enter on A, enter again. And we get this right here. Now for a 2 by 2, if your first 2 by 2 square is a diagonal 1, 0's everywhere else, that means it worked. And these will be your answers. So this will be x, and this will be y. So our answer will be negative 1 and negative 8, which is the same thing we've just found already in 2 other methods. So those are your 3 methods for solving a linear system of equations.